Akaash just made a really dumb mistake that's going to bring him an unbelievable amount of pain and suffering. Right when we were forgetting about the humiliation ritual Akash's wife put him through a couple of months ago, Akaash decided he was going to do an interview where he reminds us of the humiliation ritual and bring the topic of how his wife absolutely destroyed his career back as a topic in drama YouTube. Just in case you guys forgot why Akaash has been rebranded as the #1 cuck in the world, and why his personal and professional brand took such a hit that they had to drag his wife on a podcast to explain her horrific compilation, then let me remind you guys, let me reintroduce you guys to the Jasleen Singh files. Here's Jasleen telling Akaash, her husband, how desperately she wants to sleep with one of his friends who just so happened to be sitting next to him on the podcast.
Did y'all ever have an orgy together with your husband?
Priya, I'm actively trying to have an orgy because this couple is so good looking and you haven't seen Nav yet, but wait till you see him. His body goes crazy. His face card always slays, never declines. And it's kind of weird because I'm talking about your husband.
No, I kind of love it, but I'm like, us four? Okay, maybe.
I just know that Nav's dick is like at least 10 inches.
You would only be down for an orgy if we did it?
It's thick. I will say, like, Akaash is such a king. Like, everyone knows he's the best husband, and I don't often find men that measure up to him. And, like, Nav completely measures up to him, if not more.
There's a difference being a scammer and being a hustler. Two very different things.
Okay.
I'm a hustler who scams a little bit. I'm not a scammer who hustles.
I'm not gonna lie, that was sexy, and that's why I'm actively trying to have an orgy.
I'm toxic. How do you think I have to keep up with her?
No, he be saying some the stuff he says to you that I'm just like, that's fire.
Oh, Nav just puts his dick out on the table. I'm meeting Nav's dad tomorrow, and I will say I'm nervous because he has the, not to be weird, but he has big dick energy, and he's obviously
based off stories.
Yeah,
we don't gotta rehash the entire thing or go over all the clips. Some of our favorite clips was Jasleen telling the world how she got ran through at frat parties in college, even though she told Akaash that she was a virgin when they got married. Jasleen saying she would never marry Akaash if he made her sign a prenup. Jasleen saying that she got her butt fingered by a random man she met on Tinder on the first night she met him. In his first interview back in a while, Akaash would admit that those clips going viral and people talking about him and his wife deeply affected him. Like, it was really, really bad for him. He was in a really bad mental space. But after a couple of months to sit and think about things, it looks like Akaash haven't learned a goddamn thing, because he's back on the internet blaming the content creators and the people who circulated the clips and talked about it, instead of his wife, who put out that horrific film, who put out those horrific clips. Your wife is who said those things. People just watched it and reacted to it.
And, you know, for people who are listening, they might know, but like, you know, it's like a different audience. Like, I didn't realize in the space that you function in podcast world, because you guys are very, very famous. I didn't realize like people were giving your wife a hard time for standing up for you or having an opinion.
No, she said shit that if I said it, everybody would say it was a joke. And she and I have because we've only had sex with each other, she and I have a relationship where it's like, I don't give a what you say. She can give a what I say. I have her location. She has my location. Every time if you look at 90% of her TikToks, they're on our couch. Like, she don't go nowhere without me. So I'm like, whatever you say, I don't care. I know you. But the internet just ran with it and made it a thing. And at first, it really like f***ed me up.
I wanted to ask you, how did you really feel? Because like, I can't ever gauge, because you are a comic. You're so good at this. You do have thick skin.
Yeah.
I have seen, well, like, meaning for the most part, the success that you have had, I don't know. I don't feel like things really faze you like that. So I couldn't gauge if it really hurt.
I was deeply fazed.
But what hurt you about?
It's just they're saying it about your wife. And I think the stuff they say about me will make me insecure. But when you're saying this about my wife and you're calling her all this vile stuff, people were messaging my mom and her mom saying she's a whore, she's this, she's that. It was like, yo, this is crazy how far this has gone.
The cause of that, though, isn't Myron Gaines or the content creators who disseminated and spread those clips. It's your wife's fault. When people hear your wife on a podcast telling another man to your face she wants to have an orgy with him, yeah, people will think, oh, this is an unruly woman. This is a woman with no decorum. This is not a virtuous woman. This is a promiscuous woman. This is a scallywag. People will think that. And you're smart enough to understand that if somebody sees a wife sit on a podcast and tell another man to her husband's face that she wants to sleep with him, you can understand what type of woman they would think that woman is. It's up to your wife not to say these things. As simple as that. Now, Akaash will say some, like he would hint towards maybe it's on site with Myron and other people who disseminated those clips, and he's willing to burn it all down and lose all his money if it comes to protecting his wife. And I'm like, bruh.
How do I say this? I don't want to say it's like, is it on site or are you evolved at this point?
There's certain people that it's like, I don't know if it's on site or what, but it's like, I think God will give you yours, and
Sure.
That's
You're
kind of what
evolved.
I kind of try to remember that. But there's a side of me that's like, maybe it's a short guy thing, but I really identify with like Kendrick Lamar, where it's like, if we want beef, I'll destroy everything, I'll burn everything down. There's a little part of me that's pre-therapy.
No, we don't want that.
That's like, I don't care about the money, I don't care about whatever. You came at my wife, let's just burn it all down.
I get it.
I've never been married, disclaimer. But the one thing I ain't never said, let me burn down my profession, my career, let me crash out and lose it all? Because a bit was being a bit? Oh, nah, you got me effed up, home. What? She's online giving whole stories and I'm finna crash because somebody is calling her a hoe? Man, all right, bruh. Yo, y'all too tender. Now, it's his wife, so that's a different ball game that I can't even comment on, man. But I'm not crashing. I'm not burning nothing down. It's not on site with nothing. If my girl is online presenting herself as a hoe and somebody call her a hoe, man, I ain't crashing about that, man. But this situation and this woman, you really get to see during this interview how this woman has literally ruined Akaash's life over the last couple of months. Like, Akaash even spoke on how this situation has completely deterred his ambitions and his goals. This man no longer even wants to be famous because of this situation, which would also explain why Akaash hasn't been on Flagrant for 4 months. This man had a hit podcast. This man had a podcast that was, for the most part, like propelling him to superstardom. And he walked away from that podcast. We haven't seen him in 4 months. Now the excuse is, he's off doing his tour, but Hot 97 is in New York. He did an interview in New York, but didn't go on Flagrant this week when Flagrant films in New York. You see how that don't make sense? But we now know, because Akaash would like reveal, he's done trying to be famous. He's walking away from anything that's gonna make him famous. He just wants to lay low and be low key because of the humiliation ritual his wife took him through over the last couple months.
And everything she gets said, y'all are chopping up. And I've probably done this to 1,000 famous people, so I don't knock the people who did it.
Sure.
But it did let me, I think God does everything for a reason, and I think for me, this was God's way. Because this is how I found out I had some level of fame.
This is recent.
Yeah.
So you're just realizing your fame now?
I didn't know, because people would be like, what was your
Akaash.
I made it moment? I was like, I haven't made it. What are you talking about? And now it's like, well, when the whole world called my wife a whore, I realized I'm doing okay.
That you made it.
Yeah, that's how I found out. But I think it was just like, I'm watching them say this about her. Y'all don't know her. You're doing it off a 2-minute TikTok.
That's right.
I know this woman, and I read people pretty well. That's kind of like what most of my clips are about.
Right.
I'm not that big of a moron that a girl would lie to me for 14 years or whatever,
Right.
10 years, about being a virgin, and I would not even bother watching her TikToks to find out she talks about getting, you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
none of this, how are we believing this? I couldn't understand it. But I think it was God's way of telling me, you always say you want like a happy, healthy family. You need to know what comes with this fame thing and decide if you really want it. And I realized I don't really want that. I want to be the best stand-up comedian I can be, hopefully ever. All that other shit, I don't care. If we go to the Met Gala, she probably made me. I don't give a about walking on this stupid red carpet. Your pick, like, I don't care about any of that.
Yeah.
Coming up in the interview, Akaash will throw subliminals at Flagrant. He will speak on not really wanting to be a part of something where the community is toxic or even being involved with toxic communities. And he's just want to make his comedy and go home and not really have to think about the online thing and the online drama, which is, I think, a direct shot, or not a shot, but like a direct sub at the Flagrant community, right? The Reddit that covers everything, and they're toxic. And Akaash, if you go to any of the comment section, the comment section is all of them just roasting Akaash. That's all it is, right? And Akaash is seeing this, and he said, bro, I don't want to be a part of this, man. But I'm not coming back to this. Right? Look right here. Akaash will live on in flagrant history in the comment section. I was watching from the chair in the corner off camera. Ironic, Akaash got the rug pulled from him. Akaash went on High 97 and embarrassed himself. Bruh, everybody is saying like, dog, like bruh. Yo, Akaash needs to sit down with James Sexton, my dude. Your wife is the reason divorce attorneys exist. So the community, all they do is bash Akaash. Well, not really bashing, but they make jokes about him. And that right there is the very thing that Akaash is discussing when he says he wants to avoid it and stay away from it. So in this interview, he kind of like slow rolled out, I guess, the announcement that he's kind of done with Flagrant. He's not coming back. And to think this is all because of his wife wanting to start a podcast, even though her husband is a multimillionaire who's taking care of her, she wanted to start a podcast for her own fame and her own vanity where she discussed whole activities and brings shame and embarrassment to his name. And because of his wife, he's now about to walk away from one of the best things to ever happen to him in his comedy career, which is the Flagrant podcast.
What was surprising?
Yeah, the thing that surprised me is so many people ran and made videos when they have my number or they have we've messaged each other on Instagram, and it's like, yo, you could have just asked me what really is happening.
Yeah.
Like, people are saying foul stuff about her, and one guy was like, man, I hope I get to talk to him. And it's like, man, you got my number. You could just text me. He's talking about my marriage and like, oh, I know he had an arranged marriage. And it's like, really? Because you weren't invited to the wedding. So how would you know if we had an arranged marriage or not? We didn't, which I wouldn't mind if we did. Yeah. But I guess the idea was like he didn't know what he was getting into because it was an arranged marriage.
Oh, okay.
And it's like, but you didn't, I never even thought of inviting you. You weren't, if I thought of 1,000 people, you didn't make that list. So why are you running out here talking? You could just reach out as a human. And then I realized this fame thing is a monster, man.
That's right.
And people want that badly.
That's
and they'll
right.
run and talk about you for views, even
That's
if you're
right.
friends. And that's where I'm like, man, I don't want that. I don't want to sacrifice the morality. I didn't get into this to be famous. I thought it was cool at the time. Now it's like, it is what it is. I got into this to be the best comic possible. Everything else is noise.
Mm-hmm.
Take care of my family, be the best comic possible. Everything else is nonsense. And that's kind of where I sit right now.
And you feel good about it?
I feel much lighter, dude, when I realized like my ticket sales were not affected. They've gone up, if anything.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, these people have their community online and they bash people, and that's good for you. That's not an existence I would love, and I have my existence, and I'm pretty happy with it.
Were you surprised at how many people were so quick to say something because they thought it was your downfall? Like, you were like, oh, that's how you really feel about
Yeah, I guess,
me.
I don't know if I thought it was, because I don't, this sounds like I'm being fake humble. I think because I'm surrounded by so many people so much more successful than me, I never see myself at any kind of peak. So to me, there's like no downfall to happen, because again, this is like the first time I thought, oh, I have some level of fame that what my wife says is newsworthy.
Right.
But so I don't think downfall. I think I was just like, oh, y'all just want this fame thing more than anything. And I've realized it's addictive, and it can, I think, lure you in before you realize it. You're addicted to it, and you're saying stuff about like, we're supposed to be really good friends, and you're saying stuff or letting stuff slide. And I'm like, you're not a bad person. You just really want the fame. And you might be kind of broken if you've seen the other side of fame and you've experienced it and you still want it. There's probably something wrong with you. Ooh. I don't personally want that.
Ooh.
Yeah.
At first, this Akaash situation started off as a joke. It started off as funny, but there's nothing funny about this, man. There's nothing funny about watching this man look absolutely defeated, watching this man give up on all his hopes and dreams. This woman has completely broken him, destroyed him. They don't even have kids yet. It's not too late to walk away, bruh. But to watch how broken this man is, he's done with his podcast. I might be jumping to conclusion or reaching, but bro, he been going for 4 to 5 months. And Andrew Schultz, they have refused to even address Akaash and him being gone. Now, when Akaash talked about people commenting on his situation, you know who commented and made jokes? Charlamagne the God and Andrew Schultz on Brilliant Idiots. He could be mad at that as well. But this situation is just sad, man. Watching Akaash just look this defeated and broken, I don't know, man. I don't find no joy in this, man. Y'all let me know in the comment section. What do you guys think, man? Like, what do y'all think, bro? Like, is this humorous to you guys, or do y'all find pity as well? And if you're still watching this video and you want to watch another good video, click on this video right here to find out how this interview could ruin everything for YNW Melly. It's really, really, really bad. I'm going to see you guys in this YNW Melly video somewhere on my screen. And if you're still watching, send me a hype. That's the best way to show support. The hype button pops up after you like it. Please, please, please send me a hype. I'm going to see you guys in this YNW Melly video. I'm out of here, folks. Peace.